Well, hello, Paradigm Shifters. Judy Matejczyk here. And welcome to Paradigm Shifters. We are a community, global community, dedicated to shift and uplift the planet. How's that, Darla? Right?
Love it.
Right now, as of this morning, today is July 5th, 2021. In August, we will hit our 1-year anniversary. And right now we are at 1,092 members from 27 different countries. And you can feel the uplifting and the opening of the planet. And I am thrilled with our guest Transformation Tuesday speaker, Darla Evon. Okay. Now, Darla and I are both in this book that just came out, Short, Sweet, and Sacred. And I was reading, I got my copy of it. And if you haven't, of course, you're getting it. And I came to this story called The Visit and read Darla's story, and it touched my heart. And so I reached out, and this is why Darla's here today. And let me tell you a little bit about her. She believes in a world where it's never too late to do the damn thing. I love that. Darla brings that belief to life by empowering others to get in alignment with what truly matters, the heart's message and intelligence. We are our own highest authority and know what would make us come alive. So Darla is an inspirational speaker, best-selling author of Broken to Beautiful, and also Short, Sweet, and Sacred, as well as a life mastery consultant. Now, Darla works with individuals and organizations to help them build their dreams, accelerate their results, and create richer, more fulfilling lives. Now, I love your secret sauce to bouncing back, resiliency. And it's the key to finding peace among the pieces. So I love this. I had no idea that you're certified. I know you're a life mastery consultant, dream builder coach, and master board certified NLP and MER coach, as well as a facilitator at the Heart Math Institute. I love Heart Math.
Okay.
Yes, and you are a leader in transformational and empowerment. So before a horrific car accident, Darla Evon was a dental hygienist, but now is known as a spiritual hygienist, cleaning souls instead of teeth. I love that. So I'm so grateful for you for coming, because our month in July is dedicated to the topic freedom. Freedom. And so you get to help us kick it off. So I'm going to turn this over to you and tell us about yourself, couple stories, anything that you would love to share with our group of shifters.
All right. I'm going to focus mainly on my story that's in the book, Short, Sweet, and Sacred. But you briefly touched on my story of how I became a spiritual hygienist instead of a dental hygienist. And I had a lot of ego around being in the dental field. And, I picked that probably for all the wrong reasons. Maybe I knew it would take me places financially and all that. But what I found in that being a dental hygienist is that I got connection with people. I fell in love with my patients, and I just love people. And that's my biggest value in life. And so fast forward, I did dentistry from the 80s till 2007. I was in a car accident and I broke my neck, and I infused at C3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I have a rod in my leg and my back, all the things, right? So I kind of went down this downward spiral in my life and thought, why me? God, why me again? Like, why is this happening to me? Like, show me the message, show me what I'm supposed to learn, because I've been thrown a few curveballs in life. And sometimes in life, we're dealt some crappy cards, right? And I I was just looking for the why. I was in this victim mode, if you will. So fast forward that car accident, 2007 to 2014, I find myself in ICU again. And that time I heard a nurse outside my door. She said, I don't want to take Darla's case because she's not going to live through the night. And I thought, oh, the heck I'm not. Like, I'm going to live. Like, I've been through too much in life, child abuse, some domestic violence. I survived a son in being in prison, a lot of things. And so I was not going to let this diagnosis of 50 pulmonary embolisms take me out. I'm going to live. And I didn't know how that was going to look, but I made an agreement with God that night. I'm like, teach me what I need to do. And I kept hearing this voice, go share your message with the world. Go share your message with the world. And I've had that message before and I didn't listen to it. I kind of put it on the back burner because I thought, well, who am I? And I'm in my 50s now. It's too late to do the thing. I didn't know the how. And I've learned now through my coaching that the how doesn't matter. You just got to listen to that heart, get out of the head. And that's where heart math comes in. Listen to that heart and that higher power. For me, it's God and universe, spirit speaking to us. And so I started leaning in and I did a lot of personal growth work and got really clear that my message matters and I can touch some hearts. And whether it's working in domestic violence shelters, sharing a story with women, whether it's being a CASA advocate and being a voice for children that have been abused, or whether it's going out and starting a prison ministry for people that have been locked up. So how does this wrap up in a nice little neat bow is I learned the power of resiliency. I got knocked down and I got back up and I got knocked down and I got back up. And I refused to let the things, the events in my life keep me stuck anymore. It was time for me to go do what I want to do. So that's what brought me to Life Mastery Consulting. And I found my mentor, Mary Morrissey, through my church. I did some Prosperity Plus classes and I kept hearing her name. And so then I dove in deeper and I got to meet Wayne Dyer. I got to meet Bob Proctor. And then now Mary Morrissey, and all this just culminated into this beautiful little package. And I am all about freedom, the freedom to choose whether we're going to stay stuck in life or the freedom to choose if we're going to get back up and be resilient. Put on your big girl pants, whatever, and take the lesson. Like everything in life has taught me a lesson. It's not, why did this happen to me? Or I'm this victim of this. It's, what can I choose to learn about it? How can I grow? And maybe there's a bigger picture on the other side of the pain. And that's where I wrote my first book, Broken to Beautiful, of picking up the pieces and finding beauty amongst the brokenness, because I'm not broken. I thought I was for a long time and I'm not. And so I'm going to move ahead now to my son in prison. I have a son. He is now 29. He's free, a free man. And he had to go through a rock bottom in his life. And he was addicted to drugs. Heroin was his drug of choice. And he became addicted to that when I broke my neck, because I was in a lot of pain and I was on medicine for that. And I didn't realize my son was taking my medicine. So I blamed myself for a long time. Like, how did I not know to lock up the pills? How did I not see the signs? And so I was in this state of not forgiving myself for his addiction. But anyway, he went down a path of addiction and he made some bad choices and he ended up going to prison. He ended up serving, he got served 6 years and he ended up serving 3 in the state of Colorado. And so my story that I decided to share, and I didn't talk about this to a lot of people. I kept it hidden because I didn't want the judgment and I didn't want, oh, one more thing's happened to Darla. But in this book, I decided I'm going to share about the first time I visited my son in prison and how it set me free and set him free. And what I found the day I visited him in prison, I remember sitting in my car just sobbing, as you can imagine, a mommy heart going in to see her firstborn child. And I hadn't seen him for a long time. And I was scared. And what I was scared of was all about me. I was scared of, am I going to be safe? Am I going to be in danger? You know, what's he going to be like now? And, you know, and all the things, the stories we create in our mind. And I dried my tears and I walked in behind the first razor wire, and I'm going to take you down this journey because it was transformational in my life. I go through the second set of razor wires and we go into this building, the prison, and it's very cold and sterile and not a lot of people smiling, as you can imagine. And the guards are pretty stoic. I take off my shoes, no purses allowed. I had to show my ID and put my keys in a little locked container they give you a key for, and then they take it while you go through the prison walls. So you go through like you do an airport, a machine, and the cameras check everything. And then you get on the other side of that and they look in your mouth, they look through your fingers, they check under your bra, they turn your pockets and your pants inside out, check the soles of your feet. And then you stand in a V and the dog comes and sniffs you for contraband. And so I felt like in that moment, I was the prisoner, if you will. And so I passed that test and got to go through the next bar, which was this gated wall that slides open. And you go inside this holding room and the door's shut. And you're in this cement and steel room. And I remember it smelling like a musty old basement, and it was really cold. And then I heard this, and the other door opens on the other side, and I get to go into the visitation room. And that's when my life started transforming. I sat there, a guard took me to a table, and it's a little round table about that big around. And I sit there and wait for what seemed like eternity. There were some vending machines and I noticed some games that you could check out to play when your inmate came, and a big clock on the wall that just ticked so slowly while I waited. And pretty soon I noticed this other door opening, and the prisoners were being allowed in about 5 at a time. And I saw my son come in, and it was unbelievable. He's in a green top and green pants, and he had tan work boots, like military type work boots. And I was crying, and I couldn't take my eyes off of him. And he came over, and I just hugged him like a mother could only hug her son, like the most deepest cry. And he said, "Mom, don't cry. I'm okay." And I thought, well, you look pretty good. So, you don't look beat up. You look like you're eating. And so we sat there and we got 3 hours to visit, knee to knee. We hugged. The guards would come up, and after we hugged, and they said, "That's long enough. You get 2 seconds to hug, and you want to hug for eternity." I wanted to hold his hands, but there's no touching. And we sat and talked. He told me a lot of stories, things he's learned, things he's seen. Some things he said he's seen he will never share with me, probably in this lifetime. And that's okay. It's his journey. And I had the luxury of saying, "Honey, can I buy your lunch today?" He got a chicken sandwich out of the vending machine and a can of soda. It was a treat for him. And I got a bag of pretzels and a water. And I remember that being the most intimate meal I've ever had with my son because of our time together. And I was reminded in that moment that it's the little things in life that we take for granted that mean the most. And then all of a sudden I look around this room and I have this massive realization that this isn't scary at all. And I'm really connected to energy, to source energy, to my heart energy. And all I could feel and see and hear was love in this room. There was no judgment. There was no blaming. There was no shaming. I went through a time where I was pissed off at my son, like mad at him, like, how could you go to prison? Like, this isn't how I raised you. But all I saw in that moment, and that's the moment that transformed me, it was love, this energy of vibration, love all around. It was so incredible. I saw a father look into his son's eyes as they played checkers. And then I saw this wife sitting over here, and the longing looking into her husband's eyes. And then I saw these grandparents, grandma and grandma, sitting here just loving on their grandson. It was everywhere. It was so beautiful. And then I realized, oh my gosh, because this is all that matters. Love is all that matters. It doesn't matter where we lay our head at night, if it's on a pillow in a shelter, if it's on a prison bed, or if we live in a mansion. We are all more alike than we are different, and we all matter. And why do we judge? Why do we judge other people when we're all equal. We're all about human, and we're all about connection. And even, I thought these badass prisoners would have these attitudes in there, and even all of that. And my son Taylor, on the other side of the walls where he's locked up, not in the visitation room, he said it's so different because they have to carry a persona about them that, you watch your back, and you have to be different, I guess, on the other side of the walls. But he said on this side, all those false fronts were dropped. All the attitudes were dropped. You don't feel threatened. You don't feel better than, you don't feel worse than. We're all equal right here, right now. And it was infectious. It was contagious. And in that moment, I turned my moments of judgment into a moment of joy. I had such joy and gratitude in that moment. Like, thank you, God, for bringing me to this moment. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but I wouldn't change a thing, because the divine showers us all. And yeah, were there some bad people that not bad people that did some bad things, right? Hurt people. And I don't know their story. I don't know why that Taylor would point out to me once in a while, that guy over there, he killed someone, and this and that and that. Like, and this person over here drank 2 glasses of wine one night and was in an accident, and the family died that he hit. And he's locked up for manslaughter, but he's a great person, Mom. And he taught me that. He taught me that in that moment. So it's about our consciousness, about love, and to love others right where they are in the moment. And love is more powerful than any situation we could ever face. And I got to learn that. And I got to learn forgiveness at a deep transformational level. And I got to learn non-judgment. We don't know what others have been through. We all make mistakes, and we're all on our own divine journey. And maybe he had to take that journey to learn the lessons he had to learn. And I know now that forgiveness is this expansive love that heals and transforms and sets us all free. And so my son shared a story with me about this kid. I'll call him Kevin. And he said, Mom, there's this kid in here. He's 21. To me, that's a kid. And he says his family left him out to dry. They won't talk to him anymore because, they're in the church and they don't want people to know. So they don't write him letters. They don't answer the phone when he calls. None of the stuff. And he has no money on his books, if you will, it's its own system in there. They have their own politics, their own system of buying everything. Anyway, I'll go back to Kevin. Kevin says, I would do anything if one person on the outside world acknowledged that my life matters. And then I'm not this bad person. I made a bad mistake. He was in there for drugs as well. And Taylor said, you know what? My mom would talk to you. He said, my mom would talk to you. My mom will write you letters. She doesn't want any of the stuff. I started a prison ministry, if you will, that I started a phone bank. I put money in a phone account, and I said, if they're safe connections and they're struggling and just want someone to pray with, or to say you matter, or to say, when you know better, you do better. And on the other side of this, you get to write a new chapter in your life. So I took my coaching, if you will, into this prison, and got to talk to some young men that now call me mom. And I got 7 Mother's Day cards from my prisoners this year. And I answer phone calls sometimes, and I know the phone, it rings, and I know it's from the prison, and they say, hey, Mom, how are you? And I'm not their mom. I'm their surrogate. I have surrogate prison babies, and they aren't all bad people. They made a bad choice. And so I set up a JPay account. In prison, there's a thing called JPay, and you get to write emails, and it costs maybe 10 cents. And they get it the very next day. You can send them a picture of something that inspires you, or a birthday card to them to let them know they matter, whatever. So I set up a JPay account. I send emails to some prisoners, and then I can send them books. They have to be from Amazon because they go through everything. I'll send a card once in a while, or just pick up the phone when I'm able. And so to me, it's about connecting with another person at this deeper level. And how many of us stop writing written letters or stop sending the photos or pick up the phone? Well, they haven't called me for, like, don't do that. Love keeps no score of wrong. No score of wrong. So it's about compassion and understanding. And so I just invite people to reflect on their own lives. We all have our journey. We've all made mistakes. And where can you choose to expand the love in your life and the non-judgment and generate compassion for others, maybe without knowing their story? And putting love first can now become a way of living. We get to press that pause button on fear and shame and blame and moments of judgment, when in fact they can be portals to joy. And so it's changed my life. And I hope this resonates even with one person. It's like, expand your love consciousness. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience, right? Love is before us, love is behind us, love is above us, love is in us. It's all around us. And there's nothing that love cannot face. Love transcends any circumstance, even in the hardest situations. So I just love to ask people, how do you love? Are you open to these portals of joy? And so it is.
Yes.
That's my story, Judy.
That's, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. And I'm thinking is I personally would love to hop in and send, pictures and emails and all of that. And um, I just know that this is a community of givers and lovers. And yeah, so let's connect more. Let's blow this. Let's blow it all up, right?
Yeah.
And we're here to do that with you. I just my heart is blown open. I just wanted to say that, and I just look at you as the picture of courage. The picture of courage to walk through. For me, at least, it's the emotions that stop me. I don't want to feel that way, but you seem to have like gone beyond that, the feeling of fear into the net. I love
Thank
that
you.
you walk through the prison doors and were blown open. So wow,
It
thank
took
you
that for
so
me. It took
much.
that for me. I used to judge. I was like, oh, they're a bad person, or no, they're just a person that did a bad thing, maybe only once. And we're all one mistake away from going down that journey or whatever.
Well, before we end, what we like to do, what we love to do, is first of all, really appreciate you taking the time to tell us your story. Stories are what open people's hearts, I must say. And what we would love to do as a community, what is it, as our community of paradigm shifters, what can we hold for you personally as you expand in your ministry and everything? What would you love to have us hold for you, Darla?
You know, I used to be afraid to walk up on the stage or go do something like this because of fear of judgment. And so holding the space of just stepping through that portal of courage and of braveness. And so I want to touch the masses. I don't want to just do one-to-one anymore. I want to, like, there's healing globally on our planet right now that it is taking place. Our planet is in a huge shift. And there's so much healing. And so God, reveal to me, please, where I'm supposed to take this work. And so that's what I would love.
Oh, you just did. You are global, baby.
Thank you.
Oh, well, let's rub our hands. We're gonna, this is like our tradition. We're rubbing our hands, getting the energy there. And you get to open up your arms, and we are sending this energy of love that you have given to us right back at you up to Kansas. You ready to catch it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here.
I received that. Thank you. You're going to bring a tear to my eye now. Yeah, I feel it.
And so it is. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing yourself with us in this also as our kickoff, yeah, kickoff speaker for Freedom Month.
We are free to choose, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Thank you so much.